Yes. Yes, Mataji. Are you able to see my slides? I'm not able to see the chat box in this. So you can quickly unmute and you can see. Okay. So we will start. Okay. If there is anything, just unmute Mataji and tell me. Okay, Mataji. And who will be there for recitation today, Mataji? Chitra Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Chitra Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, I can recite. Yes. Hare
Okay.
Krishna. Yeah.
Is my screen visible with slides, Mataji?
Slide is coming up.
Okay. So today, chapter number 12 we have read. In chapter number 12 we have read about A, B, C, three sections there were. So in the section number A, verse number 1 to 7, Bhakti over impersonalism. So some people try to worship the impersonal features of Lord. That is what it describes in chapter number 11. And some people worship the Krishna's form in the personal form. That is the personalism. So two types of things we have read: personalism versus impersonalism. Krishna told directly that personalism is best. Impersonalism is very, very difficult. Okay. Then 12.8 to 12.2, progressive stages of devotion from the highest. So different options we have read. So if you are not able to do this, do this. If you are not able to do this, then do this. These types of options we have read. And from 13 to 20, the quality which is dear to Krishna. Okay. So the quality which if those quality we have, we are very dear to Krishna. Those quality were there. Okay. So these things were there. Now in chapter number 13. So this chapter, so there were six sections are there. At verse number 13.1, that is Arjuna's six questions. So this chapter starts with Arjuna's six questions. Okay. So six questions are like Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnanam, and Geyam. So these are the six questions Arjuna is asking. Then in the following section, we will read about the answers about those things. Okay. And in the last F section, that is the last section, that is from verse 27 to 35, then Jnana Chakshu, the vision of knowledge. So we'll read about these things in these chapters. Okay. Let's quickly move. So three sections of Bhagavad Gita we have read. First section, first six chapters were of this Karma Yoga. Okay. Then the next two chapters were of the Bhakti Yoga, and then the last six chapters, that 13 to 18, the last third section, that is in the Jnana Yoga. Okay. So in the first section, that is chapter 1 to 6, we have read about the Karma Yoga. And in the last of the sixth chapter, we have read that Bhakti Yoga is best. And then Krishna starts the Bhakti Yoga from chapter number 7 to 12. Now Bhakti Yoga is finished. Now 12th chapter is finished. So Bhakti Yoga is finished. Now from 13 to 18, Krishna is describing Jnana Yoga and the perfection of Jnana, that is Bhakti Yoga. So even if we have Jnana, we are not applying in the Bhakti, then there is no use. Okay. So, so question form it is put here. If bhakti is the culmination, why jnana is presented in the last six chapter? One may ask, if bhakti is the ultimate thing, if bhakti is the ultimate thing, what Krishna wants us to do, why is Krishna is culminating the knowledge, the last six chapters in the Jnana Yoga? So answer. In truth, entire Bhagavad Gita is bhakti only. The first six chapters discuss how to achieve bhakti through work. Okay, that is Karma Yoga. So how to achieve the bhakti through work, it is described in the first six chapters. The last six chapters, how to achieve it through knowledge. And the middle six chapters discuss the bhakti itself. So three divisions are there. First six chapters teaches how to achieve Krishna through karma. Then middle six chapters through bhakti. And the last six chapters, how to achieve through knowledge. Okay, so that is what it described. Also in chapter number 12, Krishna has explained how he personally delivers his devotee from birth and death. Okay. So last 6 chapters provide the philosophical knowledge necessary to extricate oneself from the material world. Okay. So philosophical knowledge is discussed in the last 6 chapters that is necessary to know Krishna. Jnana has its use in assisting our detachment from Maya and our attachment to Krishna. So Jnana is required to attach ourselves to Krishna and detach ourselves from Maya. Hence, when we use knowledge as a mean to attain devotion, it becomes a part of bhakti. If we are using the knowledge, the Jnana Yoga for bhakti, then it is also a part of bhakti yoga only. Okay? So let's 13.1, that is Krishna's question. So Arjuna is asking. Arjuna said, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, that is Purusha, Prakriti, that is nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, the field, the knower of the field, the knowledge, and the end of knowledge." So 6 questions are there, 6 things are there which Arjuna wants to know. First question, what is this Prakriti? What is this nature? Second question, who is the enjoyer of this nature? Who is the Purusha? Who is the enjoyer? Okay. Third question, who is the know? What is this field? What is the field? Okay. What is this Kshetra? Kshetra. And the fourth question, what is the knower of the field? That is Kshetragya. Okay. What is the knower of the field? That is Kshetragya. So these four are there. Then fifth question, what is the knowledge? And what is the end of knowledge? What is the goal of knowledge? So these are the 6 questions which is asked by Arjuna. O blessed Lord, the blessed Lord then said, "Oh, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field." Okay, so this is what Krishna is saying. So these are the 6 questions: Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnana, and Geyam. So Prakriti is the material nature, Purusha is the enjoyer of material nature. Okay, the Kshetra is the body. So Krishna already answered that this body is called Kshetra, and the Kshetragya, that is observer in the observer of this body, knower of this body is called Kshetragya, and Jnanam, understanding the Kshetra and Kshetragya, that is called Jnanam, and the goal of Jnana is the Paramatma. So these are the 6 questions which will be describing this chapter. Okay. So imagine this is a field. First question, the third question which was asked by Arjuna is, what is this Kshetra? What is this field? Okay, so imagine this field is there. Okay, you can see one field is there in this picture. So this is the field. Okay, so our body is like the field. Okay, this body is like a field. So our body is like a field where Atma is working, where someone is working. Where in this field, the farmer will be working. So let's put the farmer here. So you can see one farmer has appeared in the field, middle of the field. So this field belongs to this farmer. This field is being plowed by the farmer. This field is being used by the farmer. Okay. So this field belongs to the farmer. Okay. So like this, our body is a field. Okay. Our body is a Kshetra, and our Atma is Kshetragya. Our Atma is knowing this field. Our Atma is the like owner of this field. Okay. But one more thing is there. One more Kshetragya is there. One more person is there, which who is the owner of this field. Okay, so this field also belongs to the government. Government this field also belongs to the government. Government is also owner of this field. Okay, like a king is the owner of this field also. So one person is there who is owner of this field, and as well as one supreme person is there who is owner of all the field. So the king, the government is owner of this field as well as all other field which belongs to this country. Okay, so all the country belongs to the government. All the field of this country belongs to the government. So two types of knower of there. Two types of knower of this body is there. One knower is us, that is Atma, who is to whom this body belongs to. Like, okay, and one knower is Paramatma. Okay, Paramatma is there, which is knowing all other bodies. Who is knowing about all other bodies? Our knowledge is only limited to this body, and to this body also very limited knowledge. We don't know full about this body. But Paramatma knows full about this body as well as all other body which is present in this universe. Okay, so that is the difference. So Kshetra is this body, and Kshetra is two types. One is us, that is Atma, and second is Paramatma. So our knowledge is limited, Paramatma knowledge is unlimited. Unlimited means all other field belongs to Paramatma. So he knows all about this. So in the corner you can see sun is there, and here it will will appear sun god. Okay, like you can say Paramatma, who is knowing all those fields. So this field belongs to the farmer as well as to the king. This body belongs to us as well as Paramatma. Paramatma knows about this body as well as all other bodies. So that is the difference. Okay. So what is the discussion? The two things are discussed: Kshetra and Kshetragya. So this about this body. For whom? About this body we are discussing. Okay. For whom? To get the body as a field of activity. So for whom this body is there? For the conditioned soul. This body belongs to the conditioned soul. This is one. Why this body is given to conditioned soul? Why does it get this field? Soul is entrapped in the material existence because of its attempt to lord over it. So material existence he want to lord, so he wants a material body, and this material body is given to it. Okay, for the lording, he wants to lord over, so this material body is given to interact with this material world. Okay. Criteria, what is the criteria? How it is decided that which body will get? Criteria to decide which body according to the capacity to dominate material energy. Okay, so which energy we want according to our nature, according to our capacity it is given. Okay, according to the capacity to enjoy sense gratification, one gets a particular body to function accordingly. Okay, so this is about our body. One more thing is there, that is Kshetragya, knower of this field. Okay, so who is the knower of this field? Two types of knower are there: us and our that is Atma and Paramatma. Okay. So how to understand the difference between the body and the knower of the body? So these two are different things. Body is different, knower of the body is different. This field is different and the farmer is different. Okay, that we need to understand. That is what Krishna was describing chapter number 2. We are not this body, we are soul. And again, Krishna is saying this body is different and knower of this body is different. That the farmer is different and his land is different. Land is not farmer, farmer is not the land. This body is not the us. Us is different. Okay, so that is what Krishna is saying. So how to understand the difference? Based on the changing phase of the body. Our body is continuously changing, but still we say that we are still the same. Okay, when we see the picture of our childhood, 1 year, 2-year-old boy, we say that this person is me. That person has totally changed. Nothing is same in that person and the child. But still he is saying that this person is me. Why is he saying? Because the person sitting inside is the same. Okay, that is called the same. Body changing. So intuitive understanding. What is intuitive understanding? We generally perceive it. Okay, when a person passes away, his body is lying there, still we say that person has passed away. Why we are saying person has passed away? Person is still lying. If we think that person is body, his body is lying away in front of us, but still we are saying that person has passed away. Okay, that is the difference. That is called intuitive understanding. We know that something is different than this body, and that if that thing is left this body, that body is dead. We know that is called intuitive understanding. Okay. Third, comparison of knowledge in 3 sections of Bhagavad Gita. Chapter number 1 to 6 discuss the knower of this body and the position by which he can understand the Supreme Lord. So in chapter number 2, 3, there we had seen that this body is different, the soul is different. Okay, so these things we have read. Then chapter number 7 to 12 discuss about the Supreme Personality of God and the relationship between the soul and Supersoul. Okay. It describes the superior position of Krishna and subordinate position of living entity. So Supreme Soul is different, our soul is different, and our position is subordinate to Krishna. That is what is described in chapter number 2 to 12. 4 kinds of pious men who approaches the Lord. So these things we have read in chapter number 7 to 12. Then chapter number 13 to 18, what we are going to read, explains how the living entity come in contact with the material nature. How this living entity coming into contact with the material nature, explains how living entity is delivered by the Lord through the different methods. Okay, so this is what is explained. Now this was the question part. In chapter, verse number 13.1, Arjuna has asked the question. Now the answers. Okay, Krishna answers question number 3, 4, 5. The field of the activity, the knower of the field, and the knowledge in this section. Okay. So yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Kshetrajñam chapi mam viddhi सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम.
O Sayana Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower of all bodies, and to understand this body and its owner is called knowledge. That is my opinion. So Krishna is saying that you are knowing only about your body, and that is also very, very limited. But you should understand that I am also knower of all the other bodies, even your body, all the body, and that too full. Okay, that is what Krishna is saying. You should understand that I am also the knower of all bodies, and to understand this body and its owner is called the knowledge. So, what is the real knowledge? Real knowledge is to understand our position, Krishna's position. Krishna is what is Krishna's position, what is our position, and our position subordinate. We are servitor of Krishna, we are devotee of Krishna, like that. If you understand, that is called knowledge. This is what Krishna is saying. Okay, Krishna knows us in when we are conscious state. Krishna knows us when we are in second. You can see when you are in sleeping state, dreaming state. Krishna knows us when we are in unconscious state. All three stages, Krishna knows us. Krishna is with us. Krishna is watching us. Okay, so this is what Krishna is knowing. So two types of things are there. Two types of knower are there. One is us, that is the Atma, and second is the Paramatma. Okay, so let's. This is what is described in this slide. Okay, Lord Krishna defines Kshetragya and Jnanam. So what is the answer to fourth question? What is Kshetragya? Two types of Kshetragya. There is also a second knower of the field, that is called Supersoul. Okay. Answer to fifth question is what is Jnanam? To understand the body and the knower and its knower, that is Supersoul and soul, is called the knowledge. So what is body, what is soul and Supersoul? What is means what is the Kshetra and what is Kshetragya? This knowledge is called the knowledge. Okay. Knowledge, that is jnana, to study the subject matter, field of activity, and knower of the field of activity very minutely. So that is jnana, kshetra and kshetragya, knowing between kshetra and kshetragya. So in one part we know about the kshetra, that is field of activity about this body. So this body is made of this kind of thing, that is called kshetra. And kshetragya is two kinds of knowers are there. So what are the two kinds? First kind is the super soul, which know about us and all the bodies. And the second is individual soul, that is us. Okay. So super soul know about all the how Krishna is the knower, because the super soul is plenary extension of Krishna. Krishna says, I am also the knower, but not the individual knower of the body. He is present in everybody as a super knower. Okay, so he is super knower. He is a super kshetragya. Okay, we are also a knower of this body, but very, very minute quantity, very, very minute quality. But Krishna knows all about the body and all other bodies also. So that is the difference between the super soul, difference between the two types of knowers. That is the super soul knower and the individual knower. Okay. So two kinds of knower are there. That is called kshetragya. Okay. So three things. So this chapter is little bit difficult. Why? Because many terms are there. So when you read these terms, you get confused. So to simplify the process, I'm using these terms. That first thing is body. Body is us. Second thing is kshetragya. Okay. Kshetragya, two types are there. Individual body, super soul. Super soul knows about all other body as well as our body in full. But we as a soul, we know very little about this body. Okay. That is a simple thing which we should know. The difference between the soul and super soul, that is two knowers. So soul is the living entity and known as Jivatma. The super soul is maintainer and he is known as Paramatma. So super soul is Paramatma, soul is Jivatma. Okay. Soul, it is infinitesimally small, very, very small. Okay. That what is the size? Tip of hair divided into 10,000 parts. That is the size of a soul. But super soul is infinite, Vibhu. Okay. Super soul knows about one's own body. No, soul knows about one's own body. But super soul knows about everybody, everything about those bodies. Okay. Soul is the secondary proprietor of one's body, but the super soul is the primary proprietor. Okay, like a king. King is the proprietor of all the lands in his kingdom, but the farmer owns only the land. The farmer is the secondary owner. The king is the primary owner. So that analogy is there. Okay. Then soul is the secondary controller of the senses. Okay. But the super soul is the primary container, supreme controller of the senses. That is called Rishikesha. So super soul is called Rishikesha because he can control all of the senses. Okay, control of senses is called Rishikesha. Okay, soul is fallible; he can fall, but super soul is infallible. He cannot fall from his position. Okay, we can change our position daily. One day we are saying like this, other day we can say like this. But super soul is saying what he has said. That is enough. Okay, that is done. Soul is a loving servitor. He is subordinate to super soul, and he is eternally a loving master. He is superior. So our position and super soul position is different. Innumerable living entity are there. Okay, so many innumerable living entity are there. And who is controlling all of them? Super soul is controlling. Though super soul is in heart of every living entity and within every atom, still there is one super soul. Okay, so you can say that one super soul. So the one minute concept is there. So you can say that once like one story is there. Two of the disciples were sitting with Prabhupada in one room. So Prabhupada asked how many living living entities are there. How many living entities are there? So one person has said that Prabhupada, me and you, me and this. So three are disciples are there. So one of them answered that 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 are there. Okay, Prabhupada, wrong. You are wrong. Second person told 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 are there. So he thought that 4 of us are there, and each one has super soul is there. So he told 8. Prabhupada said, no, you are also wrong. The third person told that only 5 are there. Okay, Prabhupada said, yes, you are correct. How 5 are there? 3 of the disciples were there, Prabhupada were there, and all of us, one super soul. The super soul is same, but looking like everyone has super soul, and that is different. We think like it is different, but it's the same. So Prabhupada said, yes, you are right. Okay. So total 5 people were there. 5 living entities were there. 1, 2, 3. 3 were the souls were there. One Prabhupada soul were there, and one super soul is there. So total 5. So like that. So it is said that super soul is still it is in every atom, but still it is one. Okay, that is what it is written. Still there is only one super soul in the last one. Okay, that is the thing. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Takshetram yaccha yadricha yadvikari yatascha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrinu.
Now, please hear my brief description of this field of activity and how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it is produced, who that knower of the field of activity, and what is our influences are. So, about this field of activity, Krishna is describing. Okay, this body. Yes, Mataji.
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतम् छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक् ब्रह्मसूत्रप्रदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः.
So, that knowledge of field of activity and of knower of activity is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning as to cause and effect. Okay, this is 13.5 and 30.6 and 7. How this body is made. So this is being described about the Kshetra. So the 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and the convictions, all these are considered in some way to be the field of activity and their interaction. So these are the things which Krishna is describing about, that the elements of this body are there. Okay, so this is what Krishna is describing, the elements of the body. So now Krishna is describing the knowledge and the liberation in the verses number 13.8 to 13.12. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, 1 minute. It's coming out. I'm not able to see in the screen.
My screen is visible, Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's come up. Yeah, yeah. Amanvitam madambitam ahimsa shantir arjavam acharyopasanam saucham stairyam atma vinigraha indriyarteshu vairagyam ahankara evacha janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam asaktir anabhisangva sangavaha putradaragृहादिषु nityam cha samachittatvam ishtanishtopatishtatu mayi chananya yogena bhaktir avyabhicharini viviktadesha sevitvam aratirjana samsadi adhyatmanyana nityatvam tattvanyanartha darshanam etak jnanam iti proktam ajnanam yad athonyatha.
So total interactions about the knowledge and interactions, this is what Krishna is describing this part. Okay? Like humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the object of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness amid pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-relation and philosophical research for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and beside these, whatever there may be is ignorance. So this is what Krishna is describing the knowledge about the interactions of the soul and the super soul and the nature. If these things are there, this is what is described by Krishna to be the knowledge. Okay. So when we read the purport, all the description is mentioned in these slides. Okay. Whatever things is mentioned in the sloka, the description is mentioned in the slide. Okay. Just like you can see humility. What is the meaning of humility? Humility means not to be anxious to have satisfaction of being honored. Okay. This is called humility. Humility means not to be anxious to have satisfaction of being honored. Okay. Pridelessness. Okay, what is the meaning? Understanding you are not his body, and thus honor and dishonor are the same. So pridelessness, there is no pride. Okay, honor and dishonor are same. Non-violence, unless one elevates people to the spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. Okay, this is called violence. If one is not preaching, one is not elevating others to the spiritual self, to the they are not giving this knowledge to others. That is also called violence. Okay, so these things are described nicely in the purpose. When we read purpose, these things have become clear. Tolerance, to practice to be practiced to bear insult and dishonor from others. Simplicity, so straightforward that you can disclose the truth even to an enemy. Okay, accepting a spiritual master, that is essential. So if you read all those things, two things are very, very necessary. Okay, and that is essential. If we accept those two things, all other things will follow. Okay, so two things are very, very essential. So what is those two things very, very essential? The last one, which you can see in the slide, that is the most essential thing. That is called Ananya Bhakti, unalloyed devotional service. So how that is very, very important. Okay, because if any person is having non-violence, say if any person is having non-violence, okay, so non-violence doesn't lead you to devotion, okay, but if a person is a devotee, all the other qualifications will follow. If a person is devotee, he will become non-violent, he will become self-control, he will become like humility, will have pridelessness, all things will develop gradually in that person if a person attach himself to Krishna. Okay, so that is the thing. That is the most essential thing. If we are acquiring the quality, if this is the most essential quality we need to acquire. That is unalloyed devotional service. Unalloyed devotional service, Ananya Bhakti. If we are having these things, then what will happen? All other qualities will follow. How that quality will, how the quality can be applied in our life? Through through the thing that is written, accepting his spiritual master. Okay, Acharya Upasanam. That is the thing. So, if we are practicing bhakti under a spiritual master, if we are practicing bhakti under a spiritual master, in a bona fide spiritual master, then we can progress in the devotional service. Okay, because accepting a bona fide spiritual master is very, very important. That is essential. If you are not accepting and practicing bhakti, anytime we can fall down. So association of a bona fide spiritual master is very, very important. So these two things are the most important among all the quality which is mentioned by Krishna. And if you are acquiring those qualities, these two qualities, all qualities will follow. Okay, so that is the thing. Others are there, aspiring to live in the solitary place. Okay, not to mix with the material. So these are the things which is mentioned. So if you go through the slide, if you go through the chapter purport, the slide the sloka purport, all things will follow and you can understand it. Okay, so I'm moving forward. So next is the process of knowledge, that is 13.8 to 13.12. Cultivation of these qualities is the real method of acquiring the knowledge. So these qualities need to be cultivated. That is what is being discussed in the next slide. Anything speculated beyond these items of knowledge is ignorance. So Krishna says, whatever I have, the list I have given, if you are knowing about these things, that is called knowledge. And if you are not knowing about those things, that is called ignorance. Anything outside this, if you are practicing, if you are getting knowledge, that is called ignorance. That is not the real knowledge. Okay, that is the thing. That will bind you to material world only. So these things are the main thing. Okay, these things, this is what Krishna is saying, the knowledge. Then the verse 13 to 19. Now Krishna answers 6 questions. That is question number 6. That is, who is the object of knowledge? Who is the aim of the knowledge? Okay. So what is the aim? Let's try to understand. Krishna says the soul can know the super soul, who is the object of the knowledge and who exists everywhere and pervades everything. The super soul has transcendental senses and he is the source of all of our senses. He is unattached and he maintains all the living entity. Okay. So about the soul and super soul knowledge is there. Only the devotee can understand the field of activity, the body, and the process of knowledge, and both the soul and the super soul. So devotion is very, very important. Okay, that is called unalloyed devotion. If you are acquiring those, the other quality will follow. So object of knowledge, two are of the object of knowledge: super soul and the soul. Super soul and the soul, and what is the relation between them? Okay, that is called object of the knowledge. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, the beginningless and the subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Okay, so the truth, Brahman is being said as soul here. Okay, soul is there, which is subordinate to Krishna, and it is also beginningless and it lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. He is not doing anything in this material world. He is not the doer. When he come in the contact with the material world, when he is influenced by the material world, then it is the work is being done. Okay, so that is what we call Gayam, the knowable. The soul and the super soul are real objects to be known. So what is the knowledge? What is the to be known? The soul and the super soul is to be known. That is called Gayam. Okay. Sixth question. Soul and the super soul are real object of knowledge. Real object to be known. Bhagavad-Gita 13.13 describes the first object of knowledge, that is the soul. Okay. Gayam, that is object of knowledge. Who are the Gaya? What are the two things? What are the knowable things? Two things are the living entity as the knowable, and the Anand Brahma, that is super soul, as the knowable and the knower. Okay, so these two things are there. What are the benefits of knowing the knowable? So what is the benefit of knowing the knowable? Benefit of knowing the knowable is one can relish the nectar of life. Okay, so that is what is described.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Sarvatra panipadam tat sarvatrokshikshiro mukam sarvatra shrutimaloke sarvam avritya tishtati.
Everywhere are his hand and legs, his eyes, heads, and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. So Krishna is describing Supersoul is everywhere. His eyes is everywhere, his hands, legs, everywhere he has. Okay, so this is what Krishna is saying. Sixth question. Supersoul is all pervading. This is what Krishna. Supersoul is all pervading. So when you read the purport of this text number 14, Srila Prabhupada strongly confirms that this verse describes the Supersoul, not the living entity. Many persons can be confused that this sloka is describing the living entity. But Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that this sloka describes the Supersoul itself, not the soul. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sarvendriya gunabhasam sarvendriya vivarjitam asaktam sarvabhrachaiva nirgunam gunabhoktracha.
So Krishna is saying the Supersoul is the original source of all senses. The Supersoul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all the living beings. He transcends the mode of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all modes of material nature. So this is what Krishna is saying about the Supersoul. That is, he is the source of all the senses, without senses, unattached, maintainer of all the living entity. He is above all the three modes of material nature. He is the master of all the material nature. Okay. The supreme truth exists both eternally and externally, and in the moving and non-moving. He is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is far also near to all. Okay, so Krishna is sitting. Krishna is saying that he is within us also. He is outside also. Okay, Krishna is in this Goloka also. Goloka is very, very far from here. Okay, far from material world. Krishna is there, but Krishna is still far, far away. Krishna is still within us also. Krishna is so close also, so far also. So this is the quality of Krishna, Achintya. Okay, that is called Achintya. Krishna is very, very far, yet Krishna is inside us also. Okay, so how can a person be very, very far and how a person is most close to us? That is the Achintya thing about Krishna. Krishna is very, very far, as well as Krishna is very, very most closest thing. Okay. So the supreme truth exists both eternally and externally in the moving and non-moving. Okay. Everywhere it is, every atom it is. Krishna is present in every atom as Paramatma. Okay. Moving and non-moving. He is beyond the power of material senses to see or to know. With our material senses, we cannot see. With our material senses, we cannot know about Krishna. Okay, so that is the thing. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. So he is very, very far, but he is very, very near, most closest. That is the Achintya thing about Krishna. Okay.
Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam bhuta bhratarcha tagnyayam grashishnu prabhavishnu cha.
Although the Supersoul appeared to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. So if four persons are there, there is no four Supersouls. All the Supersoul is one only. So all the Supersoul is single only. So whatever universe is there, every atom Supersoul is there. Okay. Every atom Paramatma form is there, but that is single. That is single Paramatma. Okay, that is the thing. Although the Supersoul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one. Although he is maintainer of every living entity, it is to be understood that he diverse and develops all. Okay. That is the thing. Supersoul is undivided, Supersoul is one, Although Supersoul appear divided, but it is situated as one. Although maintainer of all living entity, he is devout and develops all. Okay, so this is what we learn from the text number 70. Supersoul is one. Yet it looks like it is divided, but it's not divided. Supersoul is the source of all the knowledge and enlightenment. Okay, in the text number 18. Supersoul is the source of light in all the luminous objects. Krishna is the light, okay, in all the luminous objects. Supersoul is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. Okay. He is the knowledge, object of knowledge, and the goal of knowledge. So he is the only knowledge. He is to be known by the knowledge, and he is the goal of knowledge. Even the goal of knowledge is he. Even the object of knowledge is he. Knowledgeable is he only. Okay. He is situated in everyone's heart. Okay. This is about Supersoul. The field of activity, the body, knowledge and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotee can understand this thoroughly and thus attain my nature. So again, Krishna is saying, only my devotee can attain this nature. Okay. Even if you are a jnani, even if you are a yogi, even if you are doing all those practices, you won't be able to know it fully. Only a devotee can know this thoroughly. Thoroughly means everything about this thing can be understood by devotee also. Okay. So you can see this picture. Can anyone tell me what is shown in this picture? You can unmute and tell. Chat I am not able to see. Okay. You can unmute and tell if you are knowing. What is shown in this picture? Yes, anyone? What is being shown in this picture? Let me give you one hint. There is two birds are there which are sitting in the tree. Okay, anyone? What is being shown in this picture? Yeah. Atma and Paramatma. Yes. This is Atma and Paramatma being shown. Okay. So qualification to understand Kshetra, Kshetragya and Jnana and Geyam. What is the qualification? Fully understood by the devotee only. Okay. So this is what Krishna is saying. Only devotee can understand it thoroughly. Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnana, Geyam. So these four things are there. So what is the meaning we have read till now? Kshetra is the field of activity, that is this body. Kshetragya is the knower of this body, that is soul and the super soul. Then the jnana, knowledge about those things which list Krishna has given, that is the interaction between the super soul and the nature, that is called the jnana. And geyam, what is the object of the knowledge? The object of the knowledge is the super soul and soul knowledge, and the object of the knowledge is the super soul knowledge. Okay, that is the, and what is our position? That is our position, the subordinate position to our Krishna. That is called the Geyam. Okay. What is the knowledge? Knowledge means understanding oneself in Krishna consciousness and realizing Krishna is everything. That is called knowledge. That is called Jnana. Knowledge is nothing but preliminary stage of understanding devotional service perfectly. So if we are having knowledge, that is called, that can be taken as preliminary stage to understand bhakti. Okay, so bhakti, Prabhupada says bhakti without philosophy is just like a what you can say, emotional. Okay, emotional thing. Okay, just like feeling. Bhakti without philosophy. So philosophy is very important thing to understand bhakti. So bhakti should be with philosophy. So that is why we should read Prabhupada book. Okay, bhakti should not be without philosophy. Bhakti should be with philosophy. Without philosophy, bhakti is just like a feeling, just like you have feeling is there. Okay, just like emotions are there. Okay, just like that. Okay. But philosophy is there. If philosophy you are very strong in the philosophy, bhakti you are very strong in bhakti. Okay. If only with devotion is there, no philosophy is there. If you are not knowing about Krishna, you are thinking that about Krishna only, and you are not knowing about Krishna, then that is called something like emotion, okay, which is very important to cultivate the philosophy also, okay. That is called knowledge. Vijnana is the knower, knowable, and the process of knowing is called science of the knowledge, or Vijnana. Okay. Conclusion 13 to 18. Explain the soul and the super soul as the knowable. And super soul is the ultimate object to be the known. Okay. So ultimate object, the Gayam is the super soul, and our relationship with that super soul, that is called Gayam. Okay. So these are the answers by Krishna. So now two questions are left also. The fourth question has been answered. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth has been answered by Krishna. Only two questions are left. That is called question number 1 and 2. What is Prakriti and Purusha? Okay. What is that Prakriti and Purusha? Krishna is describing. Now, Lord Krishna explains Prakriti, Purusha, and their union. Material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Okay. This material nature as well as the living entity, both are Krishna's energy. They are beginningless. Okay. One is the superior energy, one is the inferior energy, but both are energy of Krishna only. So they should be understood as beginningless. The transformation and the modes of matter are products of material nature. They are transforming from one type to another type, and the modes of matter are the product of the material nature. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay.
Karya karana kartritve hetu prakritiruchyate purusha sukha dukkhana bhoktritve heturuchyate.
Nature is said to be cause of all the material activity and effect, where the living entity is the cause of various suffering and enjoyment in this world. Okay. So living entity is desiring, okay, and the nature is fulfilling the desire. So whatever desire we have, nature is fulfilling the desire. According to that, we are getting this body. According to that, we are suffering, we are enjoying. Okay. So that is the thing. So desire is very important thing in this world. So whatever we desire, material nature fulfills Krishna fulfills that desire. Okay, that is the thing. Okay, and so this desiring should be our desiring should be improved. So whatever we desire, we get. That is what Krishna is saying. Whatever you desire, you will get that thing. Okay, so we need to choose. If we need the demoniac nature we desire, or the divine nature we desire, we want to be the devotee of Krishna, or we want to be the away from Krishna. That is what we Krishna is saying. If you want to be devotee of Krishna, Krishna will give that devotion service to us. If you want to be the away from Krishna, Krishna will give that that thing also, so that we will be away from Krishna. So that thing is whatever we desire, Krishna will fulfill. The desiring process is very important. Krishna says the freedom you have, minute freedom you have the freedom to choose. Okay, I'm giving the knowledge also. So based on the knowledge, you can choose between those two things, what way you want. So you can utilize that knowledge and you can choose between those two things. Okay, you can choose the bad thing, you can choose the good thing. Both things you can choose. You have the freedom, and we need to utilize that freedom very nicely so that we can choose Krishna. Okay, that is the thing.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Purusha prakriti sthito hi bhunte prakriti jan gunan karanam guna sangosya saddha sadyoni janmasu.
The living entity in the material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among the various species. So, this is the interaction between living entity and the nature. And due to this association, we are meeting the good and evil among the various species. So, this is what the interaction is there between us and the material nature. Okay. So this is the text number 22. What is being said? Living entity follow the wage of life according to the three mode. Under the three mode, when the living entity is there, the Atma is there, he is free. But when he comes to this material world, this material nature, he is taking the material body. Now he is under the material three modes of material nature. Okay. So living entity follow the wage of life according to three modes. Then desire to enjoy forge the bond between the Purusha and the Prakriti. So desire to enjoy is there, that is binding us to the Prakriti and the Purusha. Okay. Association with the material nature leads to different goods and evil among the various species. And the association is causing different deeds, that is good or bad, and that is getting, that's why we are getting different species of life. Okay.
उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमातेति चाप्युक्तः देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः.
Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. Okay. So in this body, one soul is there, and that is interacting with the nature, and one another thing is there, that is the super soul, transcendental enjoyer. So he is the Lord himself who is inside the with the Atma, with the soul, and he is enjoying. Okay, who is the transcendental enjoyer? Okay, the supreme proprietor. Supreme proprietor means everybody, every field belongs to Krishna. Every field belongs to the super soul. Okay, that is called supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter. So he is seeing all those things. He is seeing everything, whatever we are doing, we are thinking, what we are desiring, all things he is saying. Okay. And permitter, he is the permitter, he is the sanctioner, he is sanctioning all those things which we are desiring, and who is known as the super soul. So this is not like we can hide something from Krishna. It is not like that. Whatever thing we are thinking, Krishna is not knowing. Krishna is knowing all the things. Krishna is sitting with our Atma. So whatever thing we are thinking, Krishna is listening to that also. Okay. So that is the thing. It is not that we can hide anything from Krishna. We cannot hide anything from Krishna. Okay. Krishna is knowing everything, and everywhere what is happening, Krishna is knowing. Okay. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interaction of the mode of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present situation, present position. So whatever position is there, he won't take this birth again if he knows the interaction between the living entity, the super soul, the interaction with the soul, super soul, and the Prakriti, and how to get out of this material nature. Okay. So that is the thing. So if we are knowing these things, we are not, we won't be taking birth again in this material nature. Okay. The super soul is perceived by some through meditation, by some through the cultivation of knowledge, and by others through the working without particular desire. So these things are described. The super soul is perceived. Some people are trying to know the super soul through jnana yoga means. Some people are trying to know through the Dhyana Yoga, that is meditation, and some people are trying to know through the Karma, that is Karma Yoga. Okay. So understanding through various type of yoga. So everybody is trying to know about the Lord. That Lord explained two classes of conditioned souls are there who are trying to know about Krishna. The first is the faithful in the spiritual life. So those people who are faithful in the spiritual life. So three types of people are there. First is called Dhyana Yogi, those who perceive the super soul through meditation, that is called Dhyana Yogi. Second is the Sankhya Yogi, or through the cultivation of knowledge, or the Jnana Yogi. Okay. Jnana Yogi is there who are trying to cultivate the knowledge about the Lord. Okay, they are trying to in this way. And the third is the Karma Yogi, who is who is trying to know Krishna with through working without fruitful desires. Okay, so these are the three types of people who are faithful in the spiritual life. They are trying to know about Krishna. Okay, and the other class of people are there who are not faithful in Krishna. So they are called atheists, agnostics, skeptics, are beyond the senses of spiritual understanding. It is It also includes those who establish the doctrine of monoism. Okay. Devotee of Lord are the best situated in the spiritual understanding. So there are fourth type is also there. So three types are there who are knowing, but fourth type, that is devotee. The devotee of Lord are best situated in the spiritual understanding because they know that beyond the material nature are the spiritual world and Supreme Personality of Godhead who expands as Paramatma. Okay, so these types of people are there who are trying to know about Krishna. Again, there are those who, although not convergent in spiritual knowledge, begins to worship the Supreme Person through hearing about him from others, because from their tendency to hear from authority, they also transcend the path of birth and death. Okay, so three types of people were described in the 13.25. Now Krishna is saying there is another type of people who are beyond those three types of people, who started their spiritual knowledge, cultivation of spiritual knowledge through hearing, through the yogi, through the self-realized person about the super soul, about the Supreme Lord. Okay, but they are not so well versed in the spiritual knowledge, but they are hearing uh, faithfully to the realized souls, and now by hearing there is cultivation of knowledge in their heart, and then they are gradually progressing in the path of the devotion, and they transcend the path of birth and death through this everything. Okay, and the last section, that is called Jnana Chakshu, the vision of knowledge. One who can see super soul, a living entity, and material nature in their proper perspective, sees through the knowledge of eyes. What is knowledge of night? Proper perspective of the super soul, living entity, and material nature. One who knows what is the role of material nature, what is role of ours, who is super soul. One has this knowledge. Okay, that is if he is seeing all those things through that knowledge, that is called Jnana Chakshu. Okay, if a person is there who sees that all persons are equal, he is not seeing that outside body, he is seeing the super soul inside. So he is seeing that all are equal. Okay, so he has now Jnana Chakshu. That is called Jnana Chakshu. He is seeing all persons as equal. That is Jnana Chakshu. O chief of Bharatas, whatever you see in existence, both moving and unmoving, is only the combination of field of activity and the knower of field. So whatever things is there in this nature, whatever things you see, okay, moving things you are seeing, non-moving things you are seeing, whatever things you are seeing, that are all my part. Okay, that are all either made through the field, through the combination of field of activity and the knower of the field. Okay, the combination is there, knower of the field and the field of activity, and that is forming everything what is there in this world. That is no movable, non-movable, everything that is there. So a spiritually wise person can distinguish between the spirit and matter in all circumstances. Okay. So moving things are there or non-moving things are there, whatever they are seeing, they know that all are equal. They are only combination of the field of activity and the knower of the field. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsva avinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati.
Yah pashyati sapashyati. Those who see this, they are not, they are seeing actual things. So what is that Krishna is saying in this? One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all body. One who sees that a super soul is there in everybody with the soul. He is not seeing only the body. So when we see one, generally what we see outside, just one body there, that is what we see. But a person who sees that inside this body, soul is there, and also with soul, super soul is also there. Okay, soul is there, super soul is there. One who sees that super soul is accompanying the individual soul in all the body, and who understand that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed, actually sees. Okay, this is what Krishna says. Yeah, pashyati sapashyati. One who sees this, he actually sees. Okay. When you see super soul is every living entity, and a super soul in every living being and equal everywhere, does not degrade himself by his mind, thus he approaches the transcendental destination. Okay, one you see this, That is the actual knowledge. Actual seer, who is the actual seer, who is the actual knowledgeable person, does not degrade himself by pursuing selfish desire of the mind. What is the current situation of living entity? One has situated himself differently than in the spiritual world. Current situation that we are thinking, we are only thinking about this material world. This is what our current situation is there. What is the role of mind? Mind is generally addicted to sense gratification, which binds the living entity to the material world. So mind is binding through the sense gratification to this material world. When the mind turns to the super soul, one becomes advanced. So mind, if turning to the bodily features, mind if turning to other material things, then it is binding. But if mind is turning toward the Krishna, mind is turning toward the super soul, mind is turning to the devotion, then what happens? One becomes advanced in the devotional service. Okay. Then one approaches the transcendental destination. So this is what actual seer is there. Okay? This is what actual seer. One who can see that all activity are performed by the body which is created of material nature and sees that the self does nothing actually sees. So he sees that the Atma which is sitting inside, he is not doing anything. He is combining with the material nature and body is forming, that body is doing everything. So the combination is doing all those things. The Atma is under the influence of this material nature and that influence is doing all those things. Okay. When a sensible man ceases to see different identity due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. Okay, so he is the real knowledge. He is the actual seeker. He is the actual seer. Okay, two types of things here: vision of actual seer and the vision of how does he attain the Brahman? So in the sloka number 30, vision of actual seer, all the activity performs the body which is created of material nature, the self does nothing. Okay, this is the actual seer sees. When does he attain the Brahman conception? Purified consciousness can thus develop Krishna consciousness. His consciousness is purified, then he can develop Krishna consciousness. When he has this um, actual concept, okay, that everything is done by the body, the soul is doing nothing, and he is purified thus through this process, then what happens? Then he develops the Krishna consciousness. So CJ to see different identities due to different material body, the absence of any material differentiation because thus absence of any material differentiation because of different body. So his concept material body is not totally changed. He is now the soul and the super soul. He sees how it's being expanded everywhere. So everything what is being he's seeing, he sees as one only. Okay, he is seeing that everyone is super soul, part of super soul only, soul only. So that is what he's seeing.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Ananditva nirgudatvat paramatmyam avyayah sharirostopi kaunteya nakaroti nalipyate.
The soul is not doing anything. This is what Krishna is saying. Those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the mode of nature. Soul, about soul, Krishna is describing. Despite contact with the material nature, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Okay? The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Okay, so sky is there, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in the Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though it is situated in the body. Okay. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all the universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminates the entire body by consciousness. That consciousness is given by the soul. Okay. Without the soul, without the consciousness, this body is nothing. This is what Krishna says. This body, as the sun illuminates the universe, so that the living entity one within the body illuminates the entire body. So living entity is giving the consciousness to this body.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Kshetra kshetragnayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduryanti te param.
So one who knowingly sees this difference between the body and the owner of the body and can understand the process of liberation from this bondage also attains to the supreme good. Okay. So this knowledge is very important. Okay. So this is the essence, you can say, one verse chapter summary. Okay. So the chapter what we have read about is, one is the Kshetra. Okay. Kshetra is this body, our body. Okay. The second is the Kshetragya, knower of this body. So who is the knower of this body? Two types of knower. One is the super soul, one is the soul. Soul is knowing limitedly about this body. Super soul is knowing all the things about this body, everything about this body, and every body. So it is not like only one body. He is knowing about the every body. Okay. What is knowledge? Interaction between the soul, super soul, and the prakriti is called knowledge, and the position of the soul and the super soul is called the knowledge. Okay, and the qualities to develop this understanding that is inside this knowledge, and whatever things is outside this, it is ignorance only, not the knowledge. Okay, so this was the third thing, that is knowledge. And what is the goal of the knowledge? Goal of the knowledge is to understand Krishna, is to understand the super soul and our position with the super soul. That is called goal of the knowledge. Then what is the prakriti? The prakriti is the three modes are the prakriti, and the interaction between the living entity and the prakriti is causing the formation of the different body. The different bodies doing the different types of work, and this in this way the soul is entangled in this material world. And what is the Purusha? What is the enjoyer? So the living entity inside the body is called the enjoyer. Okay. The Param Purusha is also there, who is the Param enjoyer, the super soul is also the enjoyer. Okay, so that is the thing which we have read in this whole chapter. So the chapter was like full of different terms, terminology. Then we tend to get confused. So chapter number 13 is called most difficult chapter because of the different terminology. Okay, so and many people tend to confuse between those things. So if these things are clear, then this chapter is clear, like that you can understand. Okay, so what is the one verse summary of this chapter? Seeing the with eye of knowledge. Okay, that is jnana chakshu. The difference between the body and the knower of the body. We are different from this body. Knower of the body is different. Field is different, and knower of the field is different. Atma is different. Body is different. Okay. The process of liberation from bondage in this material world is the knowledge. Okay. What is the result? Result is the one attains the supreme goal. So this is the supreme goal, that we attain Krishna. We give our heart to Krishna. That is our supreme goal that we can attain through the knowledge. Okay. So this is a summary of chapter number 13. It starts with the Arjuna's sixth question, that is Prakriti Purusha, the Kshetra Kshetragya, Jnanam, and Geyam. Okay. Then Krishna starts giving answer. First, he starts with the question number 3rd and 4th. First and second question he is describing later. Okay. Third and fourth he is describing. So, sloka number 2 to 7, Krishna answers question number 3 and 4. Okay. Then 8 to 12, Krishna describing question number 5. Okay. 3 and 4 he has described. Then 5 here. Fifth question is describing from 8 to 12. Then 13 to 19, he is describing the answer number 6, that is object of knowledge. And from 20 to 26, first and second question is described as Prakriti, Purusha, and then union. Okay. And then the last Jnana Chakshu, the vision of the knowledge. Okay. So this is what is being said in the chapter. So this is the Mahamantra. I hope everyone is chanting the Mahamantra. Okay. So just unmuting everyone so that you can. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
Hare Ram
Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes. So any question we have? Chapter. One question we already have. One question is there. Dhyana, Sankhya, Karma are all different, three necessary together to reach Lord. Sannyasi don't do karma. Jnani Yogi does not do karma.
Which of these areas are becoming more sustainable to the employment, economic stability, communities?
Just mute. So one question, yes, Mataji. Krishna Mataji, you have any question?
Prabhuji,
Yes, ma'am.
that is the first on the initial chapters and all, we were discussing about the karma and then bhakti and all these elements. Okay, so one who does meditation and then you gain the knowledge, you perform karma without detachment, and all these one by one you increase your steps towards Krishna conscious, and later you join. But in this chapter, it says that there are three ways. That is, either you do dhyana, either you earn knowledge, or you do dhyana, or you do karma. Any of the three ways you can reach God. That is, should all the three together, or can people differently?
So you are saying, Mataji, that anyone, if a person is applying any one process, they can reach God. That is what is said in the chapter. Is it correct, Mataji?
That is, anything anybody can. Okay.
So we have already discussed about this concept, Mataji. That is called yoga ladder. So different things are there, but progressively they will lead you to bhakti only. So unless and until bhakti is there, you won't reach God. Okay. To reach God, bhakti is required. Without bhakti, you cannot reach God. Whatever meditation you do, whatever knowledge you have, even after gaining the knowledge, you will come to know that Krishna is the supreme soul, and we are a soul, and we are part and parcel. We are subordinate to Krishna. We should do devotion to Krishna, and we start doing devotion to Krishna. That is what one step is there. If a person is doing meditation, he will know that Krishna is the supreme, and I am the part and parcel. So everything will culminate in the same thing, that is bhakti. Okay, so why not better start bhakti only? So that is the thing. Everything will lead to bhakti, and you will start doing bhakti, and then only you can attain Krishna. So every path will lead to Krishna finally. But every path will lead you to Krishna through bhakti only. So bhakti is the middle way between all those paths. So when if you are doing jnana, karma, or anything, that will lead you to bhakti, and bhakti will lead you to Krishna. Unless and until you are doing bhakti to Krishna, how will you reach Krishna? So that is the thing. That is the thing we need to know. Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
If a sannyasi is doing any sadhana, ultimately will come to know that Krishna is the supreme, he is the proprietor of everything. I should do bhakti, and will start doing bhakti. That is the thing. If a jnani is there, he is trying to acquire knowledge. After acquiring the knowledge, he will come to know that Krishna is the supreme. I am his part and parcel, and my position is subordinate to him, and I should serve him. That is what he will gain knowledge. He will start doing bhakti. So at least the last, everything will culminate to bhakti only. but it will take the jnana. Only one question will take your lifetime to understand. Many people are not understanding that in one lifetime only. They will take many, many lives. Okay. To understand that Krishna is the supreme and we are part and parcel of Krishna. They do not understand in one life. Dhyana is very, very difficult. This process.
Okay.
Okay. So dhyana is very, very difficult in this life. These days, Kali Yuga, 5 minutes we cannot concentrate our mind to one process. How can we concentrate our mind to Krishna? Okay, so long. So dhyana is so one life is not enough. Even jnanis take many, many lives to understand Krishna. One question they are searching: Who is God? Who is God? What is my position? They are searching different literature. They are learning different literature. And at last, they come to know that Krishna is the supreme. I should devote myself to Krishna. Okay, and a devotee. What is the devotee that? He consult a bona fide spiritual master. The spiritual master give him all the knowledge. He start devotional service from then and that only, and then he progress from the devotional life. That is what Krishna was describing in the two shloka. First, he told that three types of people are there. That is Jnana Yogi, and Karma Yogi. But in the next shloka, Krishna is saying, yet another, there is different type of people are there who are consulting a bona fide spiritual master. They are practicing bhakti under them and they are attaining me. So that is what Krishna was describing. So it is not like that if you are doing Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, this is a shortcut. This is a very, very long path. This is like a ladder. Bhakti is like an elevator. Just consult a bona fide spiritual master, practice Bhakti under him, devote your life to Krishna, then that is over. And that is the thing. Okay. That is what Krishna was describing in these two slokas. Okay. Jigna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Prabhuji, just one question that has come to mind. We are all Atmas and Paramatma resides in everything and everyone, we believe, and we have read this too. My question is that if somebody who is quite advanced in Krishna consciousness, somebody who understands bhakti a lot more than perhaps somebody who is starting afresh or someone who is very new to everything, Bhagavad Bhakti, how is it possible that they forget that Paramatma resides in every soul, Paramatma resides in every being, and we may cause some sort of hurt to them or they may cause some sort of hurt to others. Why is it that we cannot remember that Paramatma resides in every soul?
So that is the advanced stage only, Mata. That is not a starting stage. Krishna is saying Jnana Chakshu. That is the advanced stage. When we are fully devoting ourselves, when we are in full knowledge, then only we are able to understand that this type of things are there. That is called full knowledge. When a person is full knowledge, then he has Jnana Chakshu. He can see all the people are equal condition. In the starting stage, we are doing only the very in the starting phase we are very weak in philosophy. We are trying to do bhakti, we are trying to do devotional service under spiritual master, and we don't have so much knowledge about the philosophy, about ourselves, about the God, about the super soul, our interactions. All those knowledge we don't have. So we are obviously in the first stage, earlier stage, we are not able to see every person equal, but gradually when we what
Hare
advanced
Krishna.
devotee see? He sees that everywhere Krishna only. He see everywhere Krishna. He try to see everywhere Krishna, and later he will see Krishna only everywhere because he see Krishna is his energy is everywhere. Whether it is superior energy, whether it is inferior energy, everywhere Krishna is there. So he will see everything as equal. But in the earlier stages, it is difficult because we don't have so much knowledge. We are not applying those knowledge. We are not advanced in the devotional life, so it is difficult in the day. But these symptoms are of advanced devotion. Okay, okay, Mataji.
Ji,
it
thank you.
what
Hare
your
Krishna.
question is there or any other
Thank
question?
you,
was there?
Prabhuji.
Okay, Mataji. Any other question? Are you reading the question chapters? Because I'm not getting any question from you in the Google form. Are you reading the chapters? Because if I'm reading, if you're reading, then you should ask some question. One question is there in the chat box. How is soul, Jiva, experiencing transformation such as happiness and distress? How far does goodness, passion, ignorance play in this role? So the thing is, Jiva is experiencing the transformation due to material nature only. And the material nature is binding us through these three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. So these things will be discussed in chapter number 18. What is happiness in the three modes, happiness. So all those things will be discussed in that in the last chapter, that 18th chapter. But thing is, Jiva is experiencing just that happiness, distress, anything is there in the nature. It is due to the contact of the Jiva with the material nature. And the material nature is nothing but the three modes only, the three modes. Okay. So everything which we are seeing in this nature is under the three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. So the happiness is also in the goodness, passion, ignorance, like that. Okay. We'll see later in the 18th chapter. Okay, so we'll meet next Saturday. So chapter number 14. YouTube live.